Welcome to the Cinebuds Podcast. In this episode, we review Steven Spielberg's The BFG, chat about the latest developments on Game of Thrones, and discuss whether or not you should see this week's blockbusting Independence Day. The Cinebuds Podcast starts right now. Welcome to the Cinebuds Podcast, where we talk about all things fantastic in the world of movies. I'm Matt Cook, and with me always is Garrett Dennert.
Hey, Matt.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you, dude?
Pretty good. I'm damn good, actually.
Damn good.
Yeah, you've been having a good week so far?
I have. It's been super busy, though.
Yeah, mine too. Well, I kind of heard that you got caught up on Game of Thrones finally.
I did. Can I have a round of applause?
Yeah. Let's do it. A round of applause for Garrett Dennert getting caught up on Game of Thrones.
I did it, guys. Did it.
How does it feel?
I feel pretty satisfied. I feel good.
Absolutely. This last episode, I don't know if it was my all-time favorite Game of Thrones episode, but it was right up there. I mean, it's easily within the top 3.
Yeah, there's only one other one that I can think of that competes with it for me, and Red Wedding.
Yeah, and actually, let's do a little spoiler warning. We are going to be talking somewhat in depth of last week's episode, Battle of the Bastards. So, you've been warned.
So, what was your favorite part of the episode? I saw you posted on Facebook.
Yeah, I did.
That it was quite possibly the most satisfying hour of television that you've ever seen. So what made it so satisfying for you?
I have to go with the battle. I mean, for obviously it's HBO, but that was so incredible what they did.
The camera work was amazing.
Yeah. The camera work, like the cinematography was incredible. I just wanted to see that a second time in like a movie theater.
Yeah.
I think
badass.
That would have been so awesome.
Yeah, like the part that I keep returning to when I think back on that episode is like as soon as Jon Snow charges and he gets caught like in the middle and the camera just won't leave his side.
Right.
And it's just fucking nuts. Like it's, I don't know, that and like when he's on the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, that
where you feel
the claustrophobic.
Yeah, you feel so anxious.
Right.
And I don't know, they did a phenomenal job. Like
right.
The Giant 1-1.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I hated to see what happened to him.
But yeah, that was kind of sad.
Yeah, it was really sad.
But
because that poor bastard just like
it was
kind of like 50 arrows every fucking battle.
Right. It kind of reminded me of King Kong in the 2005 King Kong movie.
Jack Black.
I think it was 2005. But yeah, he didn't really have that I don't think he really talked much or ever. But you kind of feel for him when you see an elephant dying or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we did get to see him rip that guy in half, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, like when I think that what the Bolton House ended up forming around the Jon Snow army there, I think it's called a phalanx, where it's just an old Spartan warfare tactic where the shields and stuff, and they they inch forward with spears and whatever. And I remember sitting there, I'm just like, why isn't the fucking giant just grabbing these guys and throwing them down like a bowling ball?
Right.
And instead he's just batting spears away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just a moment of, it was almost like the Rickon thing where it's just zigzag, man.
Yeah, I know.
Why are you running?
Have you ever seen what was the Mel Gibson movie? Apocalyptica?
Oh, yeah.
Apocalyptico?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's a good movie.
But yeah, they did it in that movie. Yeah, Apocalypto. Yeah. Yeah, because they get spears thrown towards them. But yeah, Rickon?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, just zigzag.
It's a little bit. Something.
Right. I mean, we all knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And man, did that really just get under your skin when Ramsay did that?
When he kept Well, I thought that he was going to sick the hounds, where he's just like, you run,
Oh,
like
right,
you sprint.
yeah.
So I was given a little glimpse of hope, like
Mm-hmm.
when it wasn't the hounds, because obviously that wouldn't have been great. That would not have been a great
Yeah.
demise, and John wouldn't have even come within an arm's reach of Rickon.
Right. Yeah.
But so a little bit of hope there, and it was quickly yanked away.
Right. Yeah, Jon Snow was just a little too late,
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, was it pretty satisfying for you to I guess more so hear the death of Ramsay?
It was, and I was very glad that Sansa was the one.
Yeah.
Because like that look that was exchanged between John and Sansa. So like John starts beating the hell out of Ramsay, and
Yep.
of course you're just like super jacked because like this guy's had it coming for what, 2 seasons now, like
Killed his own dad.
mm-hmm. But like then you see Sansa and John exchange that look, and it's like this look of, okay, I get it, he's yours, kind of a thing. And so I was very happy to have Sansa do the deed, because like
And I think they needed to do that for her character, for the her character arc,
I agree. She's changed so
Oh,
much.
for sure. I mean, if you look back at her in
Season 1?
yeah, she was just this like whiny little like
Princess type.
Yeah, spoiled little princess.
Yeah.
And I mean, she even called, I think, Jon Snow in that first season.
She hated John.
She called him a bastard, and it's so crazy to think that like this season's the first time we've seen them on screen together since season 1.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That just shows you the scope of this show.
For sure. Like for me with the Ramsay thing, if it couldn't have been Theon or Reek, however you want to refer to him, then I was glad to see that it was Sansa. Like, I feel like in Martin's world, it doesn't, like, there isn't an eye for an eye. Like, Theon wasn't going to be the one to kill Ramsay.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously he's in a different location now, but it's just that it isn't how it's going to work out in Game of Thrones. It's not going to be like pure revenge.
Right.
Like, I'm glad that it was a revenge for Sansa, sure, but I think that a lot of people would agree that Theon really got the brunt of Ramsay's shit. Like, and I don't know, in some ways, deservedly so.
Yeah.
Like, but way too far by Ramsay.
Yeah.
But one other thing, like, did it get under your skin how many times Ramsay called Jon a bastard?
Yeah, like, okay, he's the current king of Winterfell now, so he doesn't think he...
Yeah, so he's just, like, no longer...
Right. Who the hell are you, man?
Well, I know that, like, his father, like, made him, I guess, technically no longer a bastard. But
yeah,
like,
right.
But like,
he got rid of that title.
Yeah, it was very much this, like, antagonizing thing, and like I think I would guess that every audience member is just like, shut up, dude, like you're a bastard too. And like it really added something, I think, too. I think it was a great call, whether it was something written in or if it was like an improvised idea or whatever. It was a great call because it got under my skin and it made it that much more satisfying. So like what do you hope to see resolved in this season finale?
I mean, as far as like all the Winterfell stuff with like Jon and Sansa, like I think that's gonna be kind of wrapped up already. We might see a little bit of that, but I think the bulk of it's gonna be in King's Landing with the, like Cersei and Jaime. Or I guess Jaime, he's
on the move.
Yeah, he's still gone. But Cersei and who's the Mountain?
Yeah,
that dude, the freaking like zombie mountain guy. And then can't recall his name. The old guy who like overthrew.
Oh, the High Septon.
Yeah.
What's the hell's his name?
Yeah, I don't remember. He's like a bird or something, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, he's just that
guy sucks.
The religious leader.
Yeah,
that's just manipulative as fuck.
High Sparrow.
That's it.
Yes, the High Sparrow. Sorry with our terminology over here. But I hope either...
We got there.
I hope that guy dies. Just because
Yeah.
it's like...
I'm sick of him.
Yeah, I just want to see somebody like...
Like, I think we're supposed to be sick of him, but...
Yeah. I think it's intentionally, but...
He's doing his job.
And then, is it Tommen?
Tommen? Mm.
I think he's going to die.
Yeah, he's too soft.
Yeah, he's so weak.
He is like origami, they say. He's just like, I don't know, folded every which way to Marjorie, to the High Sparrow, to his mother. Like, I don't think he's ever had a thought for himself.
Yeah.
Like, well, Tywin had him for a little bit too.
Right, yeah.
And you had hopes for him because, like, he was just this... I mean, he didn't get much screen time or anything up until that point, but in that episode, or like when he took over the crown, it's just like he's a sweet boy, and that was the only real thing. And like, sweet was confused for naive and soft, I guess. Like, one thing I want to see in this upcoming episode is more Arya. I want to see, because
she's headed home now.
Yep,
she headed to Winterfell. Or is she going to go to like King's Landing? I don't
know. That's what I really want to see because, like, she's still got her list.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Does her list still matter to her?
Shit to do still.
Do you think she's going to run into the Hound at some point? Maybe not this next episode.
Possibly.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that might be too perfect of a fit for her to run into him again because, like, they spent a lot of time together. But maybe it'll just be like this glancing type moment. Maybe it's not going to be like...
Or do you think like the Hound will run into Brienne?
That battle was intense between those two.
Because Brienne of Tarth hasn't been in an episode in at least a few episodes, right?
She was trying to convince Blackfish.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I think that was 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like her and Jamie just gotta, like, I don't know, bone it out or something.
Yeah,
like,
there's some tension that needs to be resolved here.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's hard to tell what exactly is coming up in the next. I mean, I haven't read the books.
Yeah,
like,
me either.
I don't know what's coming up in the next episode, like, for a fact. Like, I think that Marjorie... Like, there's going to be some shit going down in King's Landing.
Yeah, for sure.
Would be my guess, because, like, that's still a large loose end that needs to be tied right now. Or set up to be tied for the next season. Yeah.
And I think we got the big season finale with this last episode. There'll for sure be some action in this next one, but I don't think it's good to have your expectations beyond what we got in this last episode.
Right.
Because, I mean, the last episode was just incredible. So I think this next one will be really good, but just not as good as the last one.
Right.
But we just need to tie up some character stories and set up season 7, right?
Season 7.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, these seasons fly by so fast. 10 episodes.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah, give it to me.
So there are 4 movies that we took note of coming out this week.
Yeah.
So Free State of Jones, The Neon Demon, Independence Day, Resurgence, and The Shallows. Do any of those excite you? Or do you think that any of those 4 movies are going to be as satisfying as that episode of Game of Thrones was?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm seeing one of these movies tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
Yes. I'm seeing Independence Day Resurgence with Spike Getty.
I knew you were going to say that.
Got to do it, man. I mean, it's been 20 years. I don't expect it to be a good movie at all, but I just got to do it. I got to see Bill Pullman as the president. Well, he's not. I don't think he'll be the president in the movie, but former President Pullman, and then Jeff Goldblum. But a movie that I probably will not see is The Shallows, which stars Blake Lively. That movie just has no appeal to me. I have no desire to go see it. If I wanted to see a good shark movie, I'll just watch Jaws on Blu-ray at home.
So, like, would you say that's the main reason why you wouldn't really want to see it, is just the shark aspect where it's kind of overkill?
Well, I mean, just from watching the trailer, like, she gets stranded on this rock or boulder, like, offshore, and she appears that she needs to swim 100 yards or 50 yards to this like buoy to try and communicate with the Coast Guard or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just like the last shot of the trailer, it shows her shooting a flare gun. It just reminds me of, like, I forgot the guy's name in Jaws, but remember he shoots the shark with the oxygen tank in its mouth and it blows up. It just reminded me so much of that. Instead of wasting my time, because I've heard that this movie is pretty bad.
Yeah,
I'd rather just watch Jaws.
I get that. Like, it's not one that I'm super jacked about. Like, I watched the trailer and I thought the trailer was good, but that's 2.5 minutes. You know, like, I don't really want to go pay to watch 90 minutes of that. Like, I mean, Blake Lively. I like Blake Lively. She's really pretty. She's a good actress. Like,
yeah, man, she's married to Deadpool.
Yeah. Well, like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what. Obviously, I'm not Blake Lively. I don't talk to her, but I just don't know what appeals to her about that role. Where it's just, is it probably a challenge where it's just I'm outdoors. Like,
yeah,
it's physically demanding. Blah blah blah. But, like, as a viewer, I'm with you. Like, I'd rather watch Jaws. Like, it's, I don't know. It's how I'd rather spend my time with sharks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, aside from that movie, what are you looking forward to out of any of these?
Out of these 4, I would say the Neon Demon.
I'm there with you.
Yeah. Like, and the only real reason is the director, Nicholas Winding Refn. I think I say that correctly. He's an odd guy. Like, he does some weird shit, and I don't know. Like, this sounds like something he would have a heyday with. So, like, the IMDb description: when aspiring model Jessie moves to Los Angeles, her youth and vitality are devoured by a group of beauty-obsessed women who will take any means necessary to get what she has. And, like, when I take a look at something like Drive, like,
yeah, I watched that a couple days ago. I really like Drive.
It's a good movie.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to appeal to the common person, but I really liked it.
Yeah. Like, I think he nails that tone. Like, whatever word you want to use to describe the tone of Drive. Like, like, he nails it, and I would expect something similar with the Neon Demon. I mean, hopefully it takes its own form, like, that he's evolved since then. Yeah. But, like, I think it's going to be a really original movie. I think that, like, it's going to be weird enough to keep me entertained for a while. Like, I don't know if I'll like it. Like, I've seen Valhalla Rising, which is one that he did with Mads Mikkelsen, and I don't remember the year, but, like, that was, like, way too weird for me. Like, there were probably 10 words in the movie, and then they were classified as grunts rather than words. It was like, I don't know. It was a strange movie. And so hopefully it doesn't go into that territory. Hopefully it sticks in the Drive territory.
Right.
One that I'm probably never going to see is Independence Day Resurgence.
That is a lie. You know, you will end up watching. Maybe not in theaters.
Definitely not in theaters.
But, okay, so 4 or 5 months from now, if I buy this movie and I let you borrow it,
and you force it upon me,
if it's free, would you watch it?
It really depends on what I'm going to be doing. What else do I gotta do to
try and get you to watch this movie?
Because, like, it says it's 120 minutes, which, like, that's not a super long movie, but I think about other things I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. I see this, and I don't really care for Roland Emmerich as a director. Like,
no, neither do I. I can't tell you the last thing I've watched that I've liked. Like,
he's a disaster king.
He did the Day After Tomorrow, right?
He did 2012.
2012, yeah. None of those were good movies.
Yeah, he did The Patriot. I remember liking that when it came out, but I haven't watched that in a decade.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think that he's probably just personally motivated with disaster shit. But like, I look at how many writers are involved on this movie. Like, I think 5 altogether. So like 5 writing credits and then 4 story credits. So like the story credits like carry over from the first one.
Yeah.
But like when you look at how the writing credits are broken down, it's like Nicholas Wright and then ampersand James A. Woods, which means like they're a writing team that worked on this together. And then like anytime you see the word "and," it means that other people took over the script. So like this was basically just like hodgepodge together by 5 different guys.
Well, I'm sure it's been like there's probably been
for 20 years.
Yeah, script floating around for 20 freaking years.
Yeah, like that shit scares me. I'm just like,
for it to take this long,
just like, oh, this is like busted. Take it and see what you can do.
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
been sitting on some high ups. And who makes this movie? Is it Fox or
I don't
think it's Warner Brothers.
I'm not sure.
Paramount, Universal, I don't know, but
20th
it's
Century Fox.
20th Century Fox. It's probably been sitting on some executive's desk for frickin' 20 years.
Just waiting for this day.
And the thing is, though, I know this movie's probably going to be
aging like fine wine.
I know this movie's probably going to be bad, but like this movie,
there's probably going to be great special effects.
Yeah.
Like, I get that.
Yeah, but it's got Liam Hemsworth in it.
Liam.
But this movie, it had the press screenings are tonight.
Oh, okay.
So most big budget Hollywood movies, they screen the movie like 2 weeks or 1 week prior to the release date to build a buzz
right
towards the audience. This movie isn't giving out press screenings until the night before, and I believe the review embargo is until tomorrow. So
oh, really?
The press can't even post the review until tomorrow. So I think it's gonna be a bad movie. They don't want those bad reviews to get out
because they're banking on that opening weekend.
Right. Yeah. So they're not confident. Otherwise, they would have screened this movie a week or 2 weeks earlier. So, but I mean,
it might be a good time, man. Like,
yeah.
I'd be curious to see what you have to say about it. Like, what after you see it, but
yeah, I'm not going in with like any expectations. I just want to see some cool action set pieces and watch Jeff Goldblum on screen again.
Did you go into the BFG with high expectations? Because like Matt and I, this is the first time in a few years at least that you and I actually like went to the theater together.
Yeah.
The last one I think was Mad Max.
Oh yeah. Okay, so like just over a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So like last night, Matt and I went and saw the BFG at an early screening, and Matt put up a quality review earlier. Really liked that.
Yeah. Reviews up on my YouTube channel. Check that out. But we're gonna get into some discussions of what we thought of the BFG.
Yeah.
This is Spielberg's latest movie.
So, like, with Spielberg attached to it, like, how high were your expectations?
My expectations were pretty high. Not that it was just an animated movie, but it was a Spielberg fantasy movie.
Yeah.
And, I've been...
Like, he's got some quality ones under his belt.
Yeah, like, I really like Hook with Robin Williams. It's a
phenomenal movie.
It has a lot of, like, sentimental value to me.
Yeah.
Just because I grew up with it, and some people hate on Hook, but I really cherish that movie as a whole.
Rufio.
Yeah, man. And then E.T., I know some people would say it's like kind of sci-fi, but to me it kind of has some fantasy elements.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it has a kid riding a bicycle with an alien in a milk crate basket flying over
Elliot.
some trees.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just really excited to see Spielberg bring some of that like fantasy magicness into this movie, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a real fun time with it. I thought it was a very like cute,
It was
heartwarming
super
story.
cute. Yeah, it was really cute. So I'll have to look up her name. The girl that played Sophie, Ruby Barnhill.
Yep.
Thought she was great. Like,
Yeah,
she had a lot of stage presence, like a lot of charisma.
Absolutely.
And I imagine that process of working with CG and a young girl being told, like, here, look at this ball over here and like be expressive. And like, I'm sure that Mark Rylance, am I saying that?
Yep.
I'm sure that like he was there on set helping her. And of course, you have Steven Spielberg, who's pretty well versed in working with child actors, like just based off his resume. So she was in great hands. Don't get me wrong, but like I thought she did a phenomenal job. And
I agree.
Like the special effects team obviously did a wonderful job. Like I really loved the effects in this movie. The face of the BFG is so expressive and like. I don't know. He comes across as this like goofy grandpa type character, and I don't. It was a really quality movie. I was surprised with how much I liked it. Like I went in with pretty high expectations, and I feel like they were met. Like anything, I don't know. I think maybe not less so now, but like Steven Spielberg, obviously Steven Spielberg. Like I expect what he's gonna be attaching his name to be
the highest.
Of quality.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I'm with you there.
And I really like Roald Dahl. Like, love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, love Matilda, love, what else? Fantastic Mr. Fox. I never read the BFG, sadly. I think it'd be cool to go back and read the book.
Yeah, that would be fun.
But like, did it fall flat for you in any area?
I guess like the first act to the second act, like I thought they did a phenomenal job developing the relationship between Sophie and the BFG. I mean, the chemistry between the two actors was awesome.
They become like great friends on screen.
Yeah, you totally buy into it. But like for me, it was just like, okay, we're like an hour in, or not an hour into it, but we're like a half hour to 45 minutes into the movie. It's just kind of like, where is this story going? Like I don't know. That's kind of one of my gripes.
Do you think it's because, okay, so I thought the movie started off great, like super quick, where it's just you get like 5 minutes of Sophie.
Yeah.
And then it's just boom, you're on this adventure.
Yeah, I did like that.
I thought that was badass.
Yes.
Like I loved to just like, here's this girl, she's an orphan, she loves to read, she can't sleep.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And here's a giant, and like then she's off.
Right.
Yeah. I thought that was great. Are you talking about like once she gets to giant country?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah. Like, is it lack of, I don't know. I guess lack of characters.
I think so. I mean, like in my review, I talked about this, like I talked about this just a little while ago, that they did such a great job developing Sophie and the BFG that they didn't really spend hardly any time with the supporting characters. So I just felt like it lacked with a little bit of that. So when you would have those supporting characters on screen, like I didn't care about these people.
Right.
It's like you're just taking up space on the screen.
Yeah. Like, I feel the BFG and Sophie are the only 3-dimensional characters you get for a while in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that could hurt. It depends on how much you buy into Sophie and the BFG, where it's just like, you could be happy as hell that that's all you're getting. And then you could be a little disappointed and wanting more of the world because like you're seeing the world through two characters' eyes and that's about it. And it's a fun ride, like seeing it through those two eyes. Like they're great characters, but I definitely see what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did it ever make you not enjoy the movie?
No, not really. I it's not that it didn't make me not enjoy it. It's just that I wish that they would have added it just would have topped the cake.
Sure.
In my opinion. And then I just want to touch on that we did see this in 3D, and this is the first movie I've seen in 3D. I don't know. It's been 3-4. I think the last one I saw was with you when we saw Hugo.
Mm-hmm.
But
we see these kids movies in 3D.
Yeah, this is who we are, people. But I didn't like seeing it in 3D.
No,
I thought like it's not because of the movie. I just
Right.
don't like the aesthetic of
Gotcha.
3D. To me, it almost felt like it made the special effects look kind of like cheap in a way, because
Okay.
the way they make the 3D effect, they put certain things like out of focus to create that like depth.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I didn't like it, and it kind of took me out of
the story, maybe.
Yeah, it took me out of the movie, and I would just focus on, and I don't know, maybe that's just because I've been like working on like simple like visual effects on my computer, like
Mhm.
for like YouTube channel stuff, and I notice things like that now, but like I don't know, I don't think I want to see
You would always opt for.
yeah, I just want to see like a standard
Yeah.
screening.
Like I feel a little differently. Like normally I don't like 3D movies and I steer clear. There have only been a couple that I think have done well. So like Avatar I thought was a phenomenal experience in 3D.
Yeah.
Thought they used that really well. But in like Hugo, I remember not really caring for that, the 3D part. Then I watched it like just standard and I thought it was great. Like this one, I was actually impressed with the 3D. Like, I thought that they did it tastefully. I thought that, like, it was not overkill. Whereas I remember Hugo being very hit and miss for me, where sometimes it's just like, whoa, that's a cool effect. And other times it's just like, get out of my face. Like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of this. But, like, with the BFG, like, I really thought that it helped with scale on, like,
Yeah.
Because-
yeah, I'll agree with that.
and, like, you'll be able to get the scale in a standard release.
Mhm.
Like, but I think 3D helped in a way. Like when I picture like the BFG as a runt standing next to his name's Flesh Lump Eater, the giant voiced by Jermaine Clement. And just seeing how massive like Jermaine Clement's giant is.
Right. Well, did the BFG say he was 24 feet tall? I thought I
maybe.
heard that in the movie.
I
Which
didn't
that'd
catch
probably
that.
be about right.
Mhm.
I mean, okay, so the BFG is like 25 feet tall or so, and then these other giants are, I mean, what, 75 feet tall?
Yeah,
Like,
they're fucking huge.
right, massive.
Yeah. Yeah, like I thought, I don't know, I didn't have usually I find problems with 3D, and I didn't really have a problem. It didn't take me out. But in general, I'm not a big fan of 3D.
Right. I mean, did you have any other, I guess, did you have any issues with the movie?
I think that I can point to one scene that felt a little too long. I think you know which scene I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where like
Towards the end of the movie.
yeah. And it's just it was the only thing in the movie for me that felt like it was there just to get the kids laughing.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are laughs in the movie, but once it gets to this particular scene, it's just having laughs for the sake of laughs instead of
Yeah.
incorporating them into the story and making them kind of appropriate to carry on the story, you know.
Yeah.
But this scene, it just had laughs for laughs, and I don't know, I just didn't think it was necessary. And
Yeah, and I still laughed at it. I
Yeah,
remember,
me too.
but at the same time, I'm thinking like, we don't really. need this, you
No.
know, like it's not as lean of a movie as it could be. But then the question for me becomes like, should it be? Because if the kids are really loving it and like, I don't know, I haven't watched Hook in a really long time, but maybe I could go back and just be like, they don't need that scene,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's true. That's true.
So if that's what gets kids to love it, you know, if that's a main reason to, like, cool, like that's cool with me. But it was definitely something that I noticed just dragging on a little bit.
Yeah, they could have trimmed that up. I think there's just the movie as a whole. I mean, mostly that scene, but I don't know. I just felt like it seemed a little long.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? Just about 2 hours or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe an hour and 45 would have felt more appropriate, especially for a kids movie too. Like 2 hour movie for a kids movie. That's rather long. I mean, like, I noticed quite a few families just like, or not families, but mothers and kids getting up just to go to the restroom during this movie.
Well, like I just quick looked up, like, so my favorite animated movie is Up.
Great movie.
It's an hour and 41 minutes.
Yeah, that's perfect runtime for that.
Yeah, like, I'm going to search another one because I think you're onto something here. Like, another one that I really like is The Incredibles.
Fantastic. That's my favorite Pixar movie.
And that's like a little under 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, so maybe BFG is pushing that threshold.
Yeah.
You know, that like kids might get a little antsy.
Well, and especially it's a fantasy movie. It's not something like, I don't know, like in my opinion, like fantasy asks more from the audience than like, let's say, Cars 2. Like it requires the viewer to use their imagination. It requires a little more work than, you know, like Planes or whatever, like other Disney.
Well, and maybe especially
movie.
too, like that Sophie's live action.
And yeah.
Maybe that, I don't know, like maybe that's another element to the challenge. Like that, I don't know, maybe like to either grab their attention or to maintain their attention, where it's just like they see a kid.
Right.
And maybe they're not as jazzed about it as like something else or vice versa. Like, I have no idea, but like it's just interesting things to think about.
Right.
Like, I haven't seen, I think the last animated movie I saw was Inside Out. Did you see that one?
Oh yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Solid.
And but I know that you saw Angry Birds recently.
Yeah.
So I guess my question, watch that review too. That's a good one. It's pretty funny. Like, I guess my question to you is, if you had children right now, would you rather them see the BFG or Angry Birds, and why?
I would personally have them see, and I have no kids for the record. I would personally have them see the BFG.
Yeah.
I guess it depends what age too, because Angry Birds, it did have some humor. Like they used the word, was it fluck? Like in context of like if they were to use the F bomb, they used fluck, or like fluck off, like something like that. But I mean, I just think the BFG as a whole, it appeals to kids and adults. Where like when I watch Angry Birds, it's like this.
Wasn't your thing? No,
I'm 26 years old. I'm not that old, and this has no like appeal to me. It wasn't that funny. I think I had more laughs watching the BFG than I did Angry Birds, which is surprising. Angry Birds had Bill Hader, common denominator there.
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis and Danny McBride.
They had a big cast.
Yeah,
like
and it just, to me, it wasn't that funny as it should have been. But I don't know. I just think the BFG is way more solid of a movie. It transports you into this fantasy world, and it gives you a loving and heartwarming story between an orphan girl and a big friendly giant, and I think it was a great movie, and I really liked it.
Well, got another question. Sorry, I'm grilling you. I feel like, but it just came
Bring 'em on.
to my brain that where it's just okay. So where does it stack up for you? And I'll answer this too, but like, where does it stack up for you compared to Hook and compared to E.T.? Because I think that might be like what adults are wondering. Like, I know that that's like,
Yeah,
because we grew up with those Spielberg movies, right? Where it's just, am I gonna feel like a kid again, kind of a thing?
right. Yeah, that's what I wanted going into this movie.
Mm-hmm. And I think it stacks up. Like, it's hard to ignore the fact that, like, I was really young when I saw Hook for the first time. And I would definitely watch it with different eyes now. But, like, I really think that the BFG could be a kid's Hook. You know? Like, I think that it was a fun ride. I think that it was a touching ride. I think that there's a lot of cool lessons to be taken from it. I think that there's a reason why the book has lasted as long as it has. It's not going to be my Hook, you know, but because Hook is my
Hook's your hook.
But like, I really think it could be that for someone.
Right. For me, if we're talking about those three, I will put E.T. number 1.
Elliot.
I mean, that's just a solid movie. I mean,
like it's John Wayne thing.
It's such a great movie. And then I have to put Hook as number 2. I mean, mainly it's just Robin Williams in that movie. Like, if we're gonna compare like Mark Rylance to Robin Williams, I gotta go with Robin Williams. Just like comedic value, the character as a whole. Like, I just enjoy it more. But then right behind it is the BFG. I think it's a great children's movie, and I think Spielberg did a great job with it. I think families should check it out, and just adults, like if you're just looking for a great movie to check out this weekend or next weekend, check out the BFG. I'm not sure what comes out with the BFG.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like it really scared away Independence Day.
Yeah.
It's like if they're, I don't know, probably for a different reason, they're going a week early to try to maximize. But I don't know. Fun attempt at a shitty joke.
Yeah.
But like, do you think, here comes an attempt at a shitty transition, where it's just like, do you think this could be someone's nostalgic corner?
Maybe in like 20 years.
Yeah.
I do think it has that value that can be. It has that bond between the characters that I think it allows people to like latch onto and become like emotionally invested, like Hook or E.T. You know,
like that friendship between Elliot and E.T.
Yeah, it has like, those same elements.
I think one thing that, so for me, it's like Hook. We don't have to go too far into it, but I think of like, I mean, we touched on potentially the lack of characters, the lack of secondary characters.
Yep.
In the BFG, and you look at Hook and you have like Dustin Hoffman. That like that character was
Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, like those characters are
Rest in peace.
are developed in such a cool way, and that fit into the story of like there's not just, I don't know, I can see a lot of people just getting into that relationship rather than just being funneled into this one.
Right.
You know, and I think maybe that makes it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
A little bit better.
Right. All right. So if you have to, I give letter grades on my YouTube channel. I'm going to force you to do the same.
Okay.
with a letter grade, what will you give the BFG? I gave it a solid B. I really liked the movie. In my book, that is a solid score.
I think, first of all, have you given an A+ before? I just got to know.
I believe I've given an A.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I may have. I can't recall. I don't have this stuff written down.
I would give it a B+.
Yeah?
Yeah. I really, really liked it. I had high expectations. Like, it's not often that I'm just like, I really want to go to the theater to see this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one that, like, even if we hadn't gotten like the media screenings or like the early screening, it was just like,
you would have seen it regardless.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so
for sure.
Those are high expectations, like, and they met them. And I was surprised, impressed. I was along for the ride. Really liked it.
Right. All right. So moving on, Garrett, what is your pick for this episode's Nostalgia's Corner?
I think it's a good one. I'm gonna go back in time a little bit.
Oh, yes.
Before our time.
Lay it on me.
I'm going with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You ever seen that one?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've heard of it, but like I have no idea who's in it.
So
tell me a little bit about it.
So it's a spaghetti western from I think it was 1967.
All right, my dad for sure has watched this. Does it have a?
It's got Clint Eastwood.
Okay, I figured
He plays the man with no name, or he's considered in the movie called Blondie. But like Sergio Leone did A Fistful of Dollars, The Man with No Name, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So like that was his Man with No Name trilogy.
All right.
And this movie, like, I chose it because it's like one of my dad's favorites. And I remember as a kid, like him watching it, whether it was on cable or like he eventually went and bought the VHS for it, and like just laughing his ass off at it because I mean, it's not a comedy. Like there are some comedic elements to it for sure, but like he loved the soundtrack. It's an Ennio Morricone soundtrack that like Tarantino repurposes and
okay.
So I mean the soundtrack is really cool, and like I remember watching when I was younger and thinking it was stupid because like it was grainy and it wasn't Power Rangers or Batman or whatever. And I don't know, I love the movie now for different reasons. Like I look back at it at that time and like have more appreciation because of those memories, but like I watch the movie now and like some of those shots are just set up masterfully. Like the opening 10 minutes of the movie are awesome, like long wide shots and then just like juxtaposed with like right in your face. I don't know, it's a really cool movie. I have it if you want to borrow it.
Do you have it on DVD or Blu-ray? Wow, Blu-ray. Yeah, I haven't seen a good Western in a long time. My dad watched Westerns all the time. I'm sure I was playing with toys in the living room while he had that movie on the TV. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out and borrow it from you.
I gotta.
They don't make classic Westerns anymore. People don't see them.
No, like they should just watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And that's not the only one. There are some really There's some good ones.
There are some great Western classics out there that people should watch.
Did you choose a Western?
No, I completely chose the opposite.
What do you got?
I'm kind of like ashamed to give my answer out now that you gave out such like a great pick.
What do you got, man? You got to lay it on the table.
All right, so there's this movie that came out in 1995, and it was called Heavyweights, and this was about a summer fat camp.
Gerald Garner.
This fat camp that ended up getting bought out by Tony Perkis.
It's a great character.
Played by Ben Stiller, and he was the most menacing and like douchebag of a guy. Like this guy.
Dude,
explain Tony Perkis for people who have not seen Heavyweights.
He's like a mix of an 80s. So he dresses like an 80s yuppie, but he has the mentality of like a guy getting swole in today's gym. Like in my head, that's what he's a nice mix of those two.
Yeah.
He meets in 1995.
Right.
Like those two elements.
And he's all about like these intense workouts for these fat kids at summer camp. And, you know, the fat kids are going to revolt against this guy. But to me, Heavyweights was just a classic like 90s kids movie, you know, like
it's got I forgot what his character's name is, and this is a goalie from Mighty Ducks.
Oh yeah, Kenan Thompson.
He's in that?
Oh no. Yeah, Kenan Thompson is in it, but he's not the goalie.
I'm thinking Goldberg.
Yeah, we'll just call him Goldberg.
Yeah. Yep. He's in it. Jeffrey Tambor is in it. Plays Gerald's dad.
Gerald's dad.
Yeah. Jerry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like so in the beginning of the movie I remember because I love Heavyweights too. Like I have it.
It's a great movie.
Have it on DVD and I haven't watched it in a while, but I might now. Hadn't thought about it until just now. But like it's a Judd Apatow produced movie. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
But Jeffrey Tambor, like in the beginning, he's just like how Jerry tells him, like, you're fatter than me. I'm not going to camp. You take your ass to camp or something.
Right.
And like, I don't know. He pops up in and out of the movie. But Jeffrey Tambor, Ben Stiller, Goldberg from Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Kenan Thompson.
Yeah, this movie is like it's the epitome of like a 90s like kids movie. It's so much fun and I don't know, like it has an element for like I think obviously America, it kind of has that like obese how am I trying to say this? The stereotype,
like
America has an obesity problem, and I think this would be a great movie for like kids of nowadays that are dealing with like teasing at school to check out Heavyweights because it's not just about like kids getting like picked on at like a summer or at a overweight summer camp, but it's about like friendship and you know, having a great time and.
It's about like taking care of yourself, you know, and like not just food wise, like it's taking care of yourself relationship wise and making sure you feel loved and happy and stuff. And hey, I think it's the right diagnosis for anyone.
Yeah. Heavyweights, man.
Watch fucking Heavyweights.
Good talk. All right, so we're gonna jump into Twitter questions. Garrett, what have people been sending us on Twitter?
We got some good questions this week.
We did.
Yeah. We're going to start off with at Bistro de Mars. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Or Bistro de Mars. So Bistro de Mars writes, what are the best current horror films? Preferably with humans or zombies, not evil spirits. Matt, what say you?
All right. So, in my opinion, I have not seen a good horror movie recently, like if we're talking like currently within the last like year or two with zombies or humans, I personally just
it's hard.
I haven't really enjoyed any of them. If we want to go back a few more years, I'll say World War Z.
It's a good one.
I did like that movie with Brad Pitt. That was a pretty good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Go back even further, 2004. We got Dawn of the Dead, the remake directed by Zack Snyder. To me, that was a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I remember being really surprised with that one. Like, I mean, I was excited to watch it. I think it was marketed well at the time. Like, I obviously don't remember everything, but like, I was 14 and I'm just like, that looks cool. Like, I really want to see that.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we watched the original Dawn of the Dead first before we saw that one or if it was after, but like in my head it doesn't compare. Like the remake was better. Like I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, me too.
As for like recent stuff, 28 Days Later, like I know that's not like new
but I would say like, that's a great horror movie within the last like 15 years or so.
Yeah, that like includes the zombie aspect.
Right,
and,
right.
Like, we were talking a little bit before the show here about how hard it is to do zombies now. Like,
Right.
where, I mean, I look to something like Shaun of the Dead. I look to something like Zombieland and even Warm Bodies.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, the zombie genre is taking a weird turn because we're comfortable with it. Like,
Yeah, it's very commercialized now with like shows like The Walking Dead,
yeah.
things like that.
Like, I think it's hard for people to be scared of zombies now. And, like, why
Yeah.
The Walking Dead works is for reasons other than the zombies. Like,
yeah. The zombies are just like what's the term MacGuffin?
I think so.
It's just
That
like a
sounds-
plot device to carry on the story. But the show is about the people and the characters. The zombies are just there.
what drove them to
Yeah,
where they're
yeah.
at.
But the show is about the human interaction and things like that. The zombies are just obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that zombies have just been over commercialized. And like you said, people aren't scared of them anymore. And for me, like when I saw Dawn of the Dead and 28 Days Later, like I was extremely scared of these zombies. Like this is
Yeah.
the first time I saw zombies that will sprint at you trying to like eat your face off.
that are just like screeching like
Yeah,
a metal
right.
band. Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
scary.
yeah, it's scary as hell. Like the first time you're exposed to that, but if like I just picture kids being exposed to that like at a young age now, and I don't know if that's
Yeah.
the real thing going on, but I think for you and me and other people of our generation, like we laugh at zombies or like we empathize with zombies in terms of like Warm Bodies. Like I don't know if I think that was an interesting movie, like where they took the
Right.
zombie genre. As for like the human horror element, I'm not very well versed on that. Like,
Well, you have like movies like The Purge.
yeah,
That's a current like franchise that's
I haven't seen any
within-
of them.
me either. I heard the first one wasn't that great, but the last one was
Intense.
it was pretty good. And then I think the third one comes out. Maybe that comes out next week. It comes out fairly soon.
Okay, I
But-
feel like I saw an ad for that, not too long ago.
Right.
What about Tusk? Would you classify that as horror, like human horror?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is that movie more like a dark comedy? No.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, but the movie itself is very weird. But it's, I don't know. I saw that like really, really late at night,
Yeah,
and I was kind of like, I was laughing at times, and then at certain times I was like disturbed. Like, what the hell am I watching?
yeah.
But I think like if you're into like horror movies or like dark comedies, definitely check out Tusk.
Well, I think it's hard to do similar with like the zombie thing. I'm not in the same vein as the zombie thing. Like I think it's hard to do a slasher flick now. I mean, the last one that was wildly successful was Scream, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like you're not gonna get a Halloween again.
No.
That's just gonna like scare the shit out of audiences. Like I don't know. Like
Right. Well, I think you kind of have to like revolutionize the genre.
Mhm.
Like, and I think, and not only just do that, but you need to make a good movie. And
Yeah.
I think these last Conjuring movies, like that's been like,
Mhm.
aside from just like scaring people, the main focus has just been telling a great story on screen.
Yeah. And sometimes like I think why I sort of started getting away from horror movies was that wasn't the mission anymore. Like the mission was very much, I don't know, the most obscene visual that you can imagine, or like we're really gonna scare them by cranking up the volume on this little jolt. Like it wasn't. I don't know. I would love to see a great like human horror movie. But-
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully soon.
Yep. All right. Bistro de Morris, thank you for your question. Greatly appreciated. All right. So moving on. Cook ADA3 writes, what would you say are your top 5 favorite film adaptations of video games and why?
This one's tough for me. Mostly
Yeah, there's not a lot of great choices.
no
At all.
like as a kid, I loved Mortal Kombat. I loved Street Fighter. Can't say the same now because I haven't seen them since I was a kid. But like, I would throw those in my top 5 just because I was like super into those. I don't even know if I have a top 5.
I honestly don't have a top 5. I can't do it.
I'm gonna go 3.
Yeah.
So like the third one will be Resident Evil because like that I remember liking the first one enough to see the second one.
Right.
And like that's the only qualification that I have. Like I don't know. Mortal Kombat, I think, and Street Fighter, I just love those video games. Like at the time I didn't play Resident Evil, but like I think my friends were into Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you were? I don't know.
No, I didn't play Resident Evil.
Well, I can't remember why I saw that one, but like I would say those are my 3 favorites. Like, yeah, like
three video game movies that you like.
Yeah,
almost. Yeah, my picks are Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and the recent Warcraft movie. It wasn't a great movie, but I liked it enough to. I don't know.
Did you play Warcraft?
I recently started playing World of Warcraft, but I played the old school, like late 90s, early 2000s, like 1998 to 1999, like RTS, like those games, like the bird's eye view.
Yeah.
And I played that with Mr. Alex Talmadge on Twitter. Yeah, we played that game together. But the movie's based on that game more so than World of Warcraft.
Okay.
So I think they're probably going to set up some like trilogy and they'll bring elements in from World of Warcraft. But yeah, it was an okay movie.
Yeah.
I'm not hooting and hollering about it. But however, Michael Fassbender, Assassin's Creed this December. Does this have the potential, Garrett, to become part of your top favorite video game movies?
It's so hard to get in
Did
there.
you see the trailer?
It's so hard to get into my top video game movies. Like,
yeah, that's it.
I think it could. But I don't know. I wouldn't bet a lot. I wouldn't bet heftily on that. Like the trailer looks really interesting, and just that Michael Fassbender's attached to it gets my attention. Like,
yeah,
just because I've been a fan of things he's done in the past, but then I look at Prince of Persia, and I'm just like, I really like Jake Gyllenhaal, but
yeah, me
like,
too.
I hated that movie.
Yeah,
so like.
It's just a weird career choice, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
just coming off of like the Oscar nomination for like Steve Jobs, and this guy's gonna be in a freaking like Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah, I wonder if like he signed to it years ago.
He could have, I guess. I don't know.
Or maybe the script is badass.
It could be.
I have no idea.
Yeah, and I haven't really played any Assassin's Creed games, so I don't really have any like say as.
I played the first one. It was cool.
Did?
Like it was cool for a while, but I lost interest quickly. But they kept shitting them out. I think there's like 4 now.
Yeah, I think they come out with one like every year or 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Quick sidebar.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are they ever gonna make that Halo movie? Because that was one that like I was excited about.
Peter Jackson was tied to it, and
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Because that one would probably catapult itself to my top 5. It might round out my top 5. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that would have to be a big movie, and I'm sure it'd cost $200 million at least.
Yeah. Our next question at Witty VDH writes, which is better, Major League or Major League 2?
Without question, Major League. The first one came out in 1989. That is the better movie. Major League 2 doesn't even contest. It's a crap movie. It was a sequel to a rated R movie. It ended up being PG-13, and it's not good. Not good.
You heard it here.
That's all I'm going to say about it. It's not good. It's not even worth your time because the first Major League is such a good movie.
It is.
Classic.
Just a bit outside.
All right, so Jacob M. Tubbs writes, Bad Santa 2. 13 years later? What could be different? Saw the first and liked it.
I don't know what could be different, honestly. Like, until this Twitter question, I had no idea there was a Bad Santa 2. And I'm kind of surprised that there's going to be one. Like, for a spell, I liked the first Bad Santa. Like, I watched it again this past holiday season. Wasn't that into it. Like, not like I once was. So, like, I'm not jazzed at all about a sequel being made.
Yeah.
Because, like, I just picture the same thing.
Right.
I mean, I don't know unless Thurman Merman has grown up.
Right.
Like, I really don't want to see it.
Okay.
Like, if he's not in the movie, like, I'm not going to watch it. Like, he's the only character I would watch again.
Yeah. So, okay. You bring him back. Okay. The kid's probably like our age. Okay. He's probably like early to mid 20s, I'd guess.
Yeah. It's probably just a badass.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully he still has that same curly blonde hair. Just want to rub my fingers
They
through
made
it.
you a wooden pickle.
Right. I could watch like a 2 hour, or not 2 hour. I could watch 90 minutes of him just like serving sandwiches to Billy Bob Thornton's
Look,
character.
what if that's like the storyline though, that he's just serving sandwiches somewhere?
I would love that. But yeah, I honestly don't really care. The first movie is great. Like I haven't watched it in quite a while, but as far as I remember, I laughed a lot with it. I do own it.
Yeah, like when Billy Bob's character like sets his alarm for 11:15 a.m. Can't get up before then.
Yeah.
Wakes up and like rips out the clock and starts drinking. Like,
Yeah.
he's just a great role model.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If they're gonna do that again, I don't know why that's necessary. Like, you don't really need to put that on screen.
Right.
The second time, like, it was really funny the first time I saw it, but like, yeah, like if they're gonna do that again, don't want to see it. And I don't know what they could do differently though. Like, Thurman's not a bad Santa.
Mm-hmm.
How could that guy be bad?
Yeah. Well, you don't have like Bernie Mac anymore.
He was angelic. Yeah, or John Ritter.
Well, I guess Bernie Mac, he did die in the movie, but oh yeah, and John Ritter. Jesus.
Yeah. You just got Thurman. If they're doing, I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but like, if Thurman's in it, maybe.
Right. Thurman Merman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grandma was pretty
This
awesome.
one's Granny Spry.
Oh,
Okay.
Moving on.
So, our next question comes from Jacob M. Tubbs once more. Will there be a third True Detective season? Loved the first with McConaughey. The second was meh.
All right, so I watched both seasons. The first season with McConaughey was incredible.
Yes.
It was like, I think it was
great.
eight episodes or so.
Mm-hmm.
It was like an 8-episode movie. It's very like cinematic.
Yeah.
A lot of HBO's shows are very cinematic, like Game of Thrones and True Detective. But like the second season, I didn't really care about. There was elements I liked. I liked seeing Vince Vaughn in like a darker, dramatic role. I've been kind of getting sick of seeing him in the same like cheesy comedic roles because he's a great dramatic actor, and I just want to see him in more of those type of roles. But for a third season, it depends. Depends who's writing. I guess which directors you're gonna get for it to like make me care, and then as well as like the stars, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I thought, like, I haven't seen the second season. I saw the first and I loved it, and like the second one, I've been very hesitant because of the chatter about it, where it's very mixed. Like, you'll get some that are just, it was pretty good. Like, you never hear like that was outstanding or that was great, where like that's what you heard with the first season.
Right. Well, the finale, like the tail end of the season, it just
wasn't the same.
It fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, based off of my time with the first season, yeah, I'd love to see a third season. Like, I'd love for a nice weekend of like binge watching True Detective or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what the third season would look like. I know that there's been some talk, particularly like this week, about a third season because McConaughey was on the Rich Eisen show, and he was asked like about his character on True Detective, and he was just like, I miss him. I loved that character, and basically saying like, if there's going to be a third season and it makes sense, I'm down. Like I'd love to do it. And so that's really like amped up the talk for it. But for me, it's just, I thought this was supposed to be an anthology,
Right.
in terms of, so McConaughey and Harrelson are like that story. Like that story's done.
Yeah, wrapped
Like,
up, right?
Yeah. And it's just, are you supposed to bring them back just because of popular demand? Like maybe because the second season didn't perform as well as they thought it would, but I'd be interested to see a different story set somewhere.
For sure. Bring some new actors in and just create a different story. I mean, sure, the first season was good, but you don't have to create some like story for the sake of bringing these characters back. Like,
yeah, it doesn't need a sequel.
Right. Like for me, create a great third story for the third season.
Right.
And then hire those actors that you think would fit that, like those characters best. Like,
yeah, like I really want, like they care what I want. Like,
yeah, who the hell are we?
but like the first season, I want that to be the first season. Like I don't need McConaughey again. Like he was phenomenal. Like he was great in it. Like, so I hope that if they do a third season, they go a new direction.
Right.
I don't have a lot of faith that they will, just because of performance and reviews and how much those mean. But I don't know.
Yeah.
A guy can hope.
Yep. A guy can hope.
Yep. It's a quote of the episode. A guy can hope. Sums it up.
All right. So I guess that'll do it for episode 4.
It's in the books.
Yep. In the books. Garrett, where can people find you online?
People can find me at orsonspublishing.com. It is my publishing company. You'll read some stuff I wrote and click around. It's pretty cool. Matt, how about you? Where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Rex Overdrive, as well as YouTube at Rex Overdrive. And you can see my video review for the BFG before it comes out. Check that out. It's a great movie. Definitely go check that out next weekend. So that'll do it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. It's the Cinebuds Podcast.
See ya.